What's up, y'all? This is Jacques Tassy of the Jacques, repping Haiti, and you're watching New York Caribbean. Jacques Tassy. What's up, y'all? My name is Jacques Tassy, owner and founder and designer of the Jacques Custom Fashion. Here at the Jacques, we cater to people who are wanting to represent themselves. We take a lot of pride in their nationalities, no matter who you are, whether you live in Europe, United States, mostly the Caribbean. We just give people a way to represent themselves and show pride in where they're from and who they are.
What inspired the Jacques clothing line?
I'm Haitian. I was born in Haiti, Jacques Mel, and I wanted a way to show people where I was from. And I thought the Haiti flag was a beautiful flag, and I also wanted other people to represent where they're from. I decided to customize and put it on clothing, and I tried it. It worked out, and it really took off.
In reference to being born in Haiti, how would you tie your Haitian influences in your clothing line?
Everybody loves Haiti. I love Haiti, the way. And I just felt like if I put in different designs and basically represented the flag the way I wanted, other people would like it. And I tried it, and other people felt like they wanted to represent themselves, and I give people a variety of different styles, from hoodies to tees, sleeves. I customize all types of styles, and people, you know, they love it.
What was your very first design? And also, you spoke earlier about the fact that you taught yourself how to sew. Give me the process about that, like when you would learn how to sew at first.
I had no sewing background. I didn't have my mom who was a seamstress, my dad who was a tailor. I didn't go to school. I pretty much brought a sewing machine and I just tried it out one day. I looked at YouTube, I researched a lot, I made a lot of mistakes. I had an idea to make flag sleeves. The very first Jacques shirt was pretty much taking the flag and putting it on the sleeve of a shirt. I remember when I first did it was looking crazy. I finally got it right and I put it on and I took a picture and put it online, and the very first comment was, "How much is that shirt?"
At some point you were involved in the music industry. So give me a little bit of background about that, and then tell me how that you actually worked your way into going from hip hop into the clothing thing.
Well, originally growing up, I was a hip hop artist by the name of Spark, and then I went to Quest. I worked with various producers. I really went hard, got signed, and hip hop was cool. I really enjoyed it. I love the creativity of making songs and putting it out in the public and being able to show my talent and skills. It was cool, but I felt like at that point I needed to find a new passion, something else, and I didn't really know where to get into. I caught the idea of being a clothing designer. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that I had to go to a fabric store and just put two and two together, in which I did. So I transitioned from hip hop to clothing. Now the way I tie both of them in is when I used the same fundamentals that I did with hip hop for marketing. Pretty much taking a song, it's like taking a shirt, designing it, rapping the song, making a shirt, putting it out into the public like it's the best song you ever heard. Like this is the best shirt you ever heard. And those are the little transitions, the little things that I learned from hip hop marketing, dedication, being in the same way I was in the studio making a song, devoting my 5-6 hours making the songs the same way I'm in front of a sewing machine, devoting my 5-6 hours to make the shirt. Those are the disciplines that I learned from hip hop that I transitioned. As far as the talent, I just like any song, you give it a try. You never know if it's gonna be a hit, you don't know. So same thing with making a shirt. I had a design, an idea, I executed it. It works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I move on to the next design. I think marketing, as far as the way I market the Jacques, social media is the forefront to marketing. That's it. Instagram, I call it the money gram. Instagram is very big. I use all the popular formats, Facebook and Instagram. Facebook ads. I set aside a budget, what I want to do. I search for my target audience. My target audience are fairly the Caribbean culture, Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad. And I do my research, even census research, of the population that live in certain areas. Those are my targets, Haitians from Florida. Right now I'm doing Puerto Rican Day Parade. I went on the Census Bureau, find out what's the population of Puerto Ricans in which area. Found out Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and New York. Those are the targets. So pretty much I go online and I just use my marketing tool to generate business, and I think that's very, very important. I have no storefront, so this is what I have to really concentrate on doing. So social media, benefits the Caribbean culture. Everybody's online, you know. And what makes social media easy to really find a certain culture is hashtags. You hashtag Haiti, or even hashtag the Jacques, I show up. You hashtag Haiti, everything that deals with Haiti comes up. I hashtag Haiti a lot.
This is Kellyanne Ross Daniel. I am from Grenada, representing HARD, and this is New York Caribbean.
What was the most difficult challenge in creating getting your line started?
One of the difficult challenges is sewing. I went through about four sewing machines. You gotta know which one's the best ones. They typically do the same thing, but the skill of sewing, like I said, I never went to school for it. One guy brought a shirt for me, and I had just started, so my sewing was good, but wasn't where it should be. And the guy was in the club, and he was listening to "Everybody Hands Go Up," and he said, as soon as he did that, the sleeves came off. And he was like, "And they stay there, up, down, up, down." I remember he called me, and he was cool about it. He was like, "Hey, dude, I put my hands up and my sleeves came out." he said, it was actually cool because you're the first designer that was able to turn my sleeves into a vest. And I actually wore it the whole night, just like that. And that was the time when I realized, you need to learn how to sew a little bit better. Customer service too as well. Customers call me with issues. Keep the shirt, I'll send you another one. Getting it right. You gotta learn from your mistakes. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. And I think that's what everybody is afraid to do. The first thing is an excuse. I don't know how to sew. Learn how to sew. I don't know how to design. Just give it a try. Nobody is born with it. You just have to just give it a shot. And I did it with the Jacques. I remember I came from hip hop. So you have this gangster rapper who transitions to sitting in front of a sewing machine. That normally doesn't happen. Usually rappers want to own the company, like a Sean John, but this rapper went from like rapping to sitting in front of a sewing machine, and you know, it took my fans a little bit of time to get adjusted to seeing that, but they appreciate it and they support it. You know, like anything, you can't get mad at somebody doing something good for themselves. So my weapon of choice with designing is Brother. Brother's a very good company. They're reliable. Warranty's great, so if they break, you can always call them and they'll get it fixed or replace it. Now this is called a Brother Serger stitch. Now it's an overlock stitch. Anytime you're combining two clothings together, you always want a fine stitch, like you almost brought it from the store. And this is what that does. This is just a regular sewing machine, which is good for straight stitching. You gotta have different weapons of choice. As you can see, this is one of my favorites. Basically what I'm doing is I'm hemming the end of a flag, Haiti flag. You never want to leave it raw because what happens when you wash it, it frizzles out. Back stitch, never forget the back stitch.
How does that work?
Back stitching? Pretty much just a button here, and it locks the sewing in. So if you see a thread and you pull it and it comes apart, that's what back stitching is, secures it to make sure that won't happen. There you are. It's actually the sleeve of a shirt. Comes around like this. So now what I would do is, remember what I told you in the serger, you want that fine. You want to combine it, but you want it to look good. You want that fine stitch. So you run it through a serger. As you can see in the serger, there's a needle that actually cuts and then sews over. It overlocks it. And I'll show you. See that? When you flip it over to wear it as a sleeve, look at that, nice and clean, baby. Nice and clean. Now what I would do is from that point, is I would take it to the shirt, and I would match it up inside out, keep the shirt inside out. This, match up the hems. Now this is the original hem that was originally on the shirt. You don't want to use that. And when you run it through a surgery, it actually cuts that hem down.
What would you want to tell any would-be up-and-coming designers who are interested in getting into this game?
If you're gonna do it with passion, do it with meaning. Let it represent you. Keep growing, let it get big. Create your machine, constantly keep learning. That's the key that nobody don't really think. You have to keep learning. Don't come into the game thinking you're the man. Be humble, keep learning, keep designing. Make it into something that you want to do. Don't get into it because you want to make a quick $200 to go buy Jordans. It doesn't work like that. I've had it for 3 years and I can honestly say I didn't start making any money until my 3rd year. My first 2 years was money coming out my own pockets. Constantly buying, investing in myself, not knowing if this was gonna work. I remember making shirts for somebody and making so many shirts and looking at my bank account like it's still negative and I just made like 20 shirts. Something is wrong, but that's the process of learning. That's the process of knowing. It's more than just making a shirt and selling. It's growing your business, understanding the business, not just printing and sewing machines.
Thank you for being on New York Caribbean.